Hey friends, welcome to my channel. Hope you're doing good. I've been reading a smattering of articles about China's mega dam on Brahmaputra and made me wonder what China is up to now. The Brahmaputra is referred to as Lauhitiya in Mahabharata, the Hastayurveda, Kalidasa's Raghuvamsham, and other ancient Hindu scriptures. The Kalika Purana and the Yogini Tantra contain the earliest references to the name Brahmaputra. The entire Brahmaputra basin spans 1,540 kilometers in length and 780 kilometers in breadth, and it flows through China, India, and Bangladesh. Despite not passing into Bhutan, the river is an essential component of Brahmaputra basin because many of its tributaries pass through it. Roughly 2,93,000 square kilometers are in China, 1,94,413 square kilometers are in India, and 45,000 square kilometers are in Bangladesh. Now, China is building the world's largest dam on Brahmaputra, and this is a worrying factor for India, Bangladesh, as well as Chinese occupied Tibet. As per 2002 Memorandum of Understanding (MOU), China is required to share hydrological information on the Brahmaputra between May and October so that downstream India might be alerted in case of a massive flow rate during the monsoon season. However, India became wary of the Chinese tendency to withhold information on river status after the 2017 Doklam border standoff, when China suddenly stopped communicating water flow levels. The disastrous effect of Chinese tendency to lie and withhold information led to the recent global medical disaster. China's $1.5 billion dam over the Brahmaputra is known as Zangmu Hydropower Station. It has sparked severe concerns in India. China did not consult with India or other adjacent nations as required under the Helsinki rules on the uses of waters of international rivers. India understands that diplomatic talks will not resolve the issue with the pompous Beijing regime. China's dam has created yet another flashpoint with India. The BJP is also in power in Assam, where the river runs south into the Bangladesh Delta. China's proposed mega dam on a significant river that flows into northeast India has raised a lot of concern in New Delhi. With more, with more major dams in operation than all other nations combined, China holds an unrivaled position as the hydro powerhouse of the world. Right now, it is constructing the first super dam in history, that too on its tightly guarded border with India. With a 60 gigawatt plant capacity, the massive project would produce 3 times as much electricity as the Three Gorges Dam, which is now the greatest hydropower facility in the world. However, the National People's Congress gave the project approval in March 2021. Yet China has not provided many updates regarding its progress. Beijing claimed to have completed a highway through the world's deepest canyon barely 2 months after the parliament gave its sanction, almost 3 years prior. Unfortunately, the Indian border is near to that so called canyon highway. To put it simply, the world's highest altitude river descends through the world's longest and steepest canyons as the Brahmaputra, also known to Tibetans as Yarlung Sangpo, makes a sudden turn southward from the Himalayas into India, dropping about 3,000 meters in the process. The Brahmaputra Gorge, which is twice as deep as the Grand Canyon in the United States, is home to Asia's largest untapped water reserves. Additionally, The river's sharp fall produces one of the planet's largest concentrations of river energy. Another point of worry is that the massive dam is being constructed in a seismically active region. To sum it up, it is the riskiest project in the world currently. This implies that it could be a ticking time bomb for Indians and Bangladeshis downstream. The fact that the southeast portion of the Tibetan Plateau is prone to earthquakes due to its location on the geological fault line where the Eurasian and the Indian plates collide is very concerning. 87,000 people were killed in the 2008 Sichuan earthquake, which occurred in the eastern edge of Tibetan Plateau. A connection was made by some experts between the earthquake and the Zangmu Dam in Sichuan, which was built close to a seismic fault 2 years prior. Before China started building a number of medium sized dams on portions upstream from the well known canyon, the Brahmaputra was one of the last rivers in the world to remain unbroken. Since China is currently building dams near borders, it will eventually be able to use transboundary flows to its advantage in its relation with rival China, India. However, Bangladesh would bear the majority of the environmental damage that the massive project is expected to do in its final section. The damage to the environment is probably going to go up via Tibet, which is one of the most biodiverse regions of the world. In actuality, China will be desecrating the canyon region, a significant Tibetan and Hindu holy site with its huge project. Dams can trap sediments, logs, gravel, and burying river banks, preventing fish from spawning. This can also remove food and habitat features, which helps in the formation of more complex habitats downstream. It can also cause flooding in ecosystems and habitats. Dams that are crumbling or poorly maintained can cause flooding, endanger lives, place a financial burden on local governments and industries. China is notorious for its low quality products, labor malpractices, and manufacturing defects. So, how can the world trust them with building a mega dam on a geologically sensitive region? China's dam across the Great Brahmaputra River is expected to endanger the ecosystem, environment, and landscape. If the mega project finishes, it will create significant misery for several millions of people down in India and surrounding nations. China cannot be trusted to be ethical after we all witnessed how they handled the recent world crisis that caused widespread destruction. More people should be talking about this issue as it can have devastating effects for Tibetans, Indians, and Bangladeshis. Even the Chinese people are not immune to this issue. The CCP, however, doesn't care about consequences or safety as they were let off scot free for their recent global mess. It will be interesting to see how India will handle this. Let's hope India will find a way to deal with China as she is the biggest player in this. So, what do you guys think? Leave your opinions in the comment section. For more content like this, like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.